So, today we're going to dive into a really powerful idea, the internal locus of evaluation. We're going to unpack why the standard you set for yourself is honestly the only one that's ever going to matter for real, lasting peace and confidence. In this world of nonstop online performance where everyone's documenting every little thing, have you ever just stopped and noticed who isn't there? That one person who isn't playing the game. What's going on with them? It's really easy to assume their quietness is, a lack of confidence. But what if it's the exact opposite? What if it's not about hiding it all, but about having such a deep inner security that you just don't need the applause? And that brings us to this great archetype the source material calls the quiet architect, a perfect picture of what true security looks like. So, the quiet architect, right? They're the ones who skip the constant selfies, the big announcements for every little win, that whole digital showmanship thing. They're not putting on a show for an audience because their sense of who they are is built on something way, way more solid. Okay, so what is that solid foundation? Well, it all comes down to this crucial difference between getting your validation from the inside versus the outside. This slide just lays it out perfectly. On the one hand, you've got the external locus. That's when you're constantly looking for likes, comments, and approval to feel good about yourself. But over on the right, you've got the internal locus. That's where you're guided by your own compass, your own standards. And that right there is the path of the quiet architect. So here it is, the core concept, the internal locus of evaluation. It's really just the ability to be your own judge, to play by your own rulebook. It's about knowing who you are and what you're about without needing a crowd to confirm it for you. And honestly, that's a massive sign of real self-awareness. Now, to really get a grip on these two different paths, the source material gives us this really powerful metaphor for how we can choose to build our lives. And boom, here it is. You can build a flashy billboard, all about grabbing attention, but it's pretty flimsy, right? The first big storm and it's gone. That's a life built on what other people think. Or you can cultivate a hidden garden. It's not for show, it's for substance, and it's what provides real, lasting peace. That's a life built from the inside out. All right, let's talk about the main arena where this whole battle for validation plays out today, the crazy digital illusion that social media creates. A huge part of this is something psychologists call social comparison theory. I mean, think about it. We take our real, sometimes messy lives, the good, the bad, the boring, and we stack them up against these perfectly polished highlight reels we see online. It's a comparison we can never, ever win. And what happens? We get trapped in this exhausting, non-stop cycle of anxiety. We feel like we're not enough, so we post something to get that little hit of approval. It feels good for a second, and then the anxiety comes right back. It's a treadmill. And this is exactly why having an internal locus is like a shield. When you choose privacy over popularity, when you stay focused on your actual goals in the real world, you're protecting your mental health from that whole crazy cycle. You start to value what's in your own head more than the fleeting opinions of a crowd. And I want to be really clear about this. This isn't about retreating from the world. It's a strategic choice. It's about consciously choosing peace over performance. Oh, this quote from the source material absolutely nails it. Choosing to stay quiet on social media isn't a retreat, it is a strategy for mental efficiency. You're not hiding, you're just being smart with your energy and focusing it on what actually matters. When you look at it this way, all that constant social performing, it's just a low-value task. The only goal is to be seen. But choosing peace, that's a high-value strategy. The goal isn't to be seen, it's to be solid. And it's that inner solidity, that security, that lets you build a life with real intention and depth. The confidence you get from that isn't fragile. It's not borrowed from a screen. It's forged inside you. So all this sounds pretty good, right? But how do we actually go about building this unbreakable foundation for ourselves? Well, we come right back to that beautiful metaphor. While everyone else is out there frantically building their flashy billboards to get a moment of attention, you're quietly cultivating your hidden garden. You're building something real, something that will actually nourish you long after all those billboards have crumbled. And this really is what it all boils down to. This is the big takeaway. When you truly see and accept yourself, you realize you don't need to be seen by the world to feel seen. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Are you building a billboard,
Or are you cultivating a garden? What foundation are you building on?